one day somebody does something unspeakable to someone else, to someone you hardly knew, and you do something about it, because you can.
From KHOU, we get this story where they clarify what President-elect Donald Trump meant by complete immunity to the police. Now, many Americans are wondering what policies they should expect with Trump's return to the White House. A significant part of Trump's campaign platform was centered around reducing crime and emboldening police officers. Now that he's elected, several people asked if Trump plans on giving police officers immunity from prosecution, which would mean they could commit acts that would currently be considered crimes without fear of legal action.
We will restore law and order to our communities, and I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical, out-of-control prosecutor in America for their illegal, racist, and reverse enforcement of the law. I am also going to indemnify all those policemen that were shaking my hand back there. You better be listening. Police officers, law enforcement, please listen. But we're going to indemnify police officers and law enforcement officials throughout the United States from being destroyed by the radical left for taking strong actions on crime. They're going to be indemnified. We're going to pay them for their costs, for their lawyers. You know, policemen have to go, in many cases, hire a lawyer to protect themselves. The state doesn't want to get involved. These people are crazy, what they're doing to our country.
Donald Trump said he plans on giving police immunity from prosecution multiple times while on the campaign trail. He said this, including at 2 rallies and in an interview at the annual National Association of Black Journalists at their convention. During a May 1st, 2024 rally in Waukesha, Wisconsin, Trump said, "We're going to give our police their power back, and we're going to give them immunity from prosecution so they're not prosecuted for doing their job." Trump said something similar in St. Cloud, Minnesota at a July 27th rally, where he said, "We're going to give immunity to police so they can do their job. I'm giving federal immunity to police officers so they can do their job." A few days later, Trump clarified in a July 31st interview at the National Association of Black Journalists Convention that this immunity wouldn't extend to every single case of police misconduct.
So Sonia Massey, someone from Illinois, an unarmed black woman, was shot the other day in her home by a deputy sheriff. The deputy has since been charged with murder. You said police would get immunity from prosecution if you win. Why should someone like that officer have immunity, in your opinion?
Immunity?
Immunity.
I don't know the exact case, but I saw something, and it didn't look good to me. It didn't look good to me. Are you talking with the water, right?
Yeah, well, police unions are not backing this person either. But again, why would...
They're going to be charging the officer. I guess they're charging the officer.
So why should he receive immunity?
Well, he might not. I mean, it depends. It depends on what happens. I'm talking about people that are much different cases than that. We need people to protect ourselves. And by the way, in Chicago, as an example, a few weeks ago, July 4th weekend, they had 117 shootings and 17 deaths. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. We need to have our police officers have the respect and dignity back. In this particular case, I saw something that didn't look good to me. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all.
So, can you get a little more specific back to the immunity question? Who would make those
Well, right now, for the most part, people are protected by their unions, by their police unions, or by their police departments. But I'm saying if I felt, or if a group of people would feel that somebody was being unfairly prosecuted because the person did a good job maybe with crime, or made a mistake, an innocent mistake. There's a big difference between being a bad person and making an innocent mistake. But if somebody made an innocent mistake, I would want to help that person.
What would those exceptions be? What would determine
You
an
go
innocent
after
mistake?
somebody and it's a very close call and it's very dangerous. And you know, they have, the policeman's life and woman is a very difficult thing because sometimes you have less than a second to make a, life and death decision. And sometimes very bad decisions are made. They're not made from an evil standpoint, but they're made from the standpoint of they made a mistake.
Now, Trump's campaign website, which details his Agenda 47 plan and the Republican Party's 2024 platform, are both vague on the subject of police immunity. Trump's website says he plans to sign a bill that will increase vital liability protections for America's law enforcement officers. I don't like it. The Republican Party platform promises the party will protect officers from frivolous lawsuits. I'm kind of trying to read into this a little because I'm trying to understand exactly what he's saying. And I don't think there's any real fix. I don't think there's ever going to be anything that says, look, bad cops getting prosecuted, that's it. I think there's always going to be that one situation where the cop gets over. But we are seeing, Brett Hankerson, Breonna Taylor, he's been convicted. Adam Coy from Andre Hill case, I'm going to bring that story to you next week. He was in court, and I'm going to give you an update on that. So that one, he's in court. I could go on. The Memphis, Tyre Nichols, the Memphis cops, they're being charged. Derek Chauvin and his 3 clowns. I digress. So you get what I'm saying, though, right? We are seeing cops being prosecuted. We are seeing cops who are answering for these basically crimes. But I'm wondering if Trump gives this immunity to the police, federal immunity, are we going to see less prosecution of bad cops? I'm just wondering about that. But President-elect Trump did say he's not going to give federal immunity to every cop across the board. He's saying, look, if you are a bad person, if you do a bad thing, you're going to have to answer for it. He did not like what he saw in the Sonia Massey saying. But he said, and I'm going to close with this, he just wants to protect cops from frivolous lawsuits. And we're seeing that, and I'm going to step into an area here. Don't start clicking unsubscribe, but you're going. Can we have a conversation, guys? Can we be adults here? Because I get these people that go, I'm unsubscribing from you just for that. Well, bye, because obviously you're not an adult. You can't have a conversation. But frivolous lawsuits and the police. Let's talk about First Amendment auditors. I am not anti-First Amendment auditor. And I've been accused of that recently by a couple of people. You turned. Now you're anti-auditor. No, I'm not. I think the First Amendment audit does have, in certain circumstances, particularly government buildings, a purpose to educate people that, look, in post 9/11, we still have freedoms. Not everybody's a terrorist. Not everybody's out to do nefarious action against you. Sometimes it's just some guy recording and doing a story, maybe getting some B-roll on a government building. So there's a purpose for First Amendment audits in the realm of education. I get that. And I support it. I advocate for it. But there are those frauditors out there. Now, when I say frauditors, I'm talking about those people that are doing these First Amendment audits, not for what I said, educating and trying to say, look, we still have rights. They're doing it for a couple of reasons. They want views because they're monetized and they want that money. Or they want to get arrested somehow and then file a lawsuit and get awarded money, like Tom Zebra. He got 20, was it 25,000? That was a frivolous law. I mean, not frivolous law. It wasn't a frivolous lawsuit. My story. That was an unlawful arrest. Zebra got arrested because he was on the sidewalk at a DUI checkpoint, and the cop said, well, you need to move out of here. This sidewalk's closed. And he goes, you can't close the sidewalk. And he got arrested. And he won, I think it was 25 grand. So now everybody's out. Hey, I get arrested. I'll file a lawsuit. And I'll get a, there you go. And I think that's what Trump is saying now to connect the two. Look, these, cops just do their job, and then the person goes back and sues them when the person was wrong, not the cop. And that's what he's, I think, saying is that I'm trying to shut down these people just suing the cops because, hey, you can't arrest me when you did wrong. But when the cop does wrong, I think he's still gonna have to answer for it. Maybe I got that wrong, but do you get what I'm saying? I'm sorry, I'm very chatty. I just can't shut up. I'm one of those guys that just talks. Like California Citizens Watch said. He just goes on and on. But to close this, I want to know what you all think and what you all have heard. Is Trump's federal immunity going to just give immunity to cops across the board? Or is he still going to take immunity from those cops that do bad that are going to be prosecuted? I don't know. Mike and Censor?